All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're tackling a massive, honestly game-changing evolution in how digital content gets made. For a long time, the whole conversation around AI and video has been entirely dominated by what we might call toy AI. You know the type, right? You type in a prompt and you get a few seconds of a cinematic cat riding a skateboard. It looks incredibly cool, no doubt about it, but it is entirely unusable for a real business workflow. So today, we're shifting the focus away from that chaotic, unconstrained generation and looking at scalable, brand-safe, automated workflows. We're diving into agentic video infrastructure, and specifically the role of agents in production. This isn't just about making a video. It's about building an entire system where AI agents can actually be trusted as reliable video producers for real enterprises. Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with number 1, the AI video governance problem. Then 2, agents as reliable video producers. 3, writing intent with WS grammar. 4, the programmable art director. 5, agents produce, humans govern. And finally, 6, scaling on-demand business video. So let's kick things off with section 1, the AI video governance problem and why enterprise absolutely needs control. Before we even get into the solution, we really have to ask, why can't businesses trust current AI video generators? Like, what's the fundamental gap between a really impressive tech demo and a system a business can actually use? Well, it really comes down to 3 massive roadblocks. First off, unconstrained AI hallucinates. It just makes things up. Second, it routinely breaks brand guidelines. An AI doesn't inherently understand your company's approved color hex codes, your specific typography, or your legal safe areas. And third, it entirely lacks deterministic control. Think about it. If you ask an AI video model to change just one word on the screen, it might completely redraw the background, change the pacing, or mess with the lighting. For a business that needs to send out a personalized sales outreach or a compliance-approved explainer, that level of unpredictability, yeah, it's a total non-starter. Businesses don't just need video. They need governed, repeatable, editable video. Which brings us right to the definition of agentic video infrastructure. This is the execution layer that lets AI agents actually become reliable video producers. And it does this by compiling structured intent into deterministic renderable video. I really want you to take away this crucial distinction today. We are not talking about a simple text-to-video app here. Not at all. This is a domain compiler wrapped around AI. It's an infrastructure layer where the AI proposes the creative ideas, but a rigid deterministic software system actually executes the final pixels. Moving right along to section 2, agents as reliable video producers. This is the paradigm shift. If we aren't letting the AI generate the final pixels, what exactly is the paradigm shift here? What is the proper role of an AI agent in production? Well, the core thesis of this entire explainer is right here. AI shouldn't generate video. AI should generate intent. You've got to think of the AI model not as your final pixel-pushing animator, but more like an executive producer. The agent is fantastic at adapting a story, personalizing a script for a specific client, choosing the emotional register of a scene, or, picking out the best 10-second highlight from an hour-long webinar. But it absolutely shouldn't be deciding the exact frame rate, the mathematical easing curves of a transition, or the specific padding around a corporate logo. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we are creating a strict division of labor here. On the AI agent side, we've got the creative responsibilities, adapting the story, picking the emotional register, drafting the semantic source material. But on the compiler side, that's where we have the execution responsibilities, managing coordinates, calculating motion curves, enforcing brand palettes, and emitting deterministic render plans. Simply put, the agent speaks in broad, creative semantics. The compiler speaks in exact math. And it's this exact separation of concerns that finally makes AI output editable, repeatable, and totally safe for agents to manipulate without ever breaking the brand. Let's jump into section 3, writing intent with WS grammar. This is our control surface. So how do these agents actually communicate all this creative intent to the compiler? Well, here is how the pipeline actually flows. First, the agent drafts the semantic intent using a specialized source file called .ws. Then, the compiler steps in to validate that draft. Next up, the organization's approved theme is applied, and finally, the system executes a deterministic render graph. This creates what the source material calls a compiler-gated repair loop. It's actually brilliant, because if the AI agent hallucinates an unsupported layout or, say, tries to use a neon pink that isn't anywhere in your brand book, the compiler immediately flags it. It rejects the weak output and forces the agent right back into a repair loop. This structure basically prevents hallucinations from ever reaching the final video, which enables a fully auditable generation process. And the language the agent uses to write this, that .ys format I mentioned, is uniquely designed for this exact workflow. It's a small, indentation-sensitive, and highly semantic source format. In tech terms, it's a low-entropy syntax. That basically means there aren't a million ways to write a scene. It's highly constrained, and this is perfectly optimized for large language models to generate, validate, and repair. The agent doesn't have to write move image 30 pixels left over 200 milliseconds. Nope. It simply writes something like scene intent proof and then lists the text. Okay, section 4, the programmable art director, turning semantics to math. So if the agent is just giving us vague semantic intent like make it playful or this is a proof point, how does that actually turn into a polished video? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the magic of the compiler's mood system. When the agent passes down a semantic intent like proof, the compiler responds deterministically by tightening the spatial density and shifting to a very data-forward pacing. If the agent selects playful, the system instantly injects bouncy spring physics and warm colors. Or if the agent tags a scene as urgent, the compiler translates that vague word into exact math, like a spring stiffness of 400 and a 1.4x playback multiplier. The agent is essentially programming an art director who handles all those tedious motion design variables for you. But actually, we need to make an incredibly important distinction here. Mood controls how the video feels, the theme pack controls whose brand it belongs to. So while the mood system handles the kinetic identity, things like camera plotting, spring damping, and transition speed, the final look is strictly governed by the brand layers inside a theme pack. The theme pack always gets the final say on the visual surface. Moving right into section 5, agents produce, humans govern. The philosophy. We are now at the real climax of this explainer, focusing on the ultimate philosophical shift in how creative operations function in the age of AI. The crucial point is this mantra: agents produce, humans govern. I'm actually going to say that again because it is the anchor of the entire platform's governance thesis. Agents produce, humans govern. See, we are no longer bottlenecked by humans having to manually push pixels around or sequence clips on a timeline. The agent can assemble, draft, adapt, and iterate at literal light speed, but the human retains absolute control over the boundaries of that creation. And they do that through those theme packs. Theme packs ensure agents can never violate a brand's approved identity. The AI has the massive creative range required to draft a personalized script or summarize a 1-hour podcast into a snappy little clip. But the human-governed theme pack deterministically locks down the fonts, the color palettes, the logo padding, and the title-safe areas. An agent might decide a video needs really high-energy pacing, but the theme pack ensures that energy is delivered exclusively using your company's approved typography and corporate colors. No rogue choices allowed. And finally, section 6, scaling on-demand business video, the real-world impact. So when you combine semantic AI drafting with deterministic compiler execution, what can you actually do with it? Well, you can scale on-demand business video in ways that were literally impossible before. We're talking about high-volume use cases where reliability, speed, and brand safety are absolutely critical. Things like personalized sales outreach, where every single prospect gets a custom video, or agentic commerce explainers that are dynamically generated for specific products, so you don't need to hire an entire film crew for all 10,000 items in your warehouse inventory. We're looking at training and skill transfer clips perfectly adapted to a specific employee's learning gap. And of course, source media repurposing, automatically turning long-form webinars into a dozen branded social media clips. And because this whole thing is entirely code-based, it means giving SaaS platforms and agencies a repeatable, embeddable video workflow. This isn't just some standalone web app you log into. No, this is actual enterprise infrastructure, accessed via APIs and the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. Software companies can plug this compiler directly into their own dashboards. This lets their own systems, or even their own AI agents, generate fully branded, broadcast-ready videos right in the background. It's a total game changer. Let's lock in the ultimate takeaway of this entire explainer with a quote directly from the source material. AI should author intent. Deterministic systems should compile, validate, execute, and remember. That right there is how you solve the governance problem. That is exactly how you turn a chaotic, hallucinating AI model into a reliable video producer that an enterprise can actually trust with its brand. I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on today. We've seen how this compiler approach completely solves the hallucination and branding problem for video, but this architecture goes way, way beyond just motion graphics. If AI acts as the creative brain and a deterministic compiler acts as the rigid execution engine, how will domain compilation change how your industry delegates high-stakes work to AI? Whether it's legal contracts, financial portfolios, or architectural blueprints, the future of AI isn't just about better prompting. It's about giving agents strict, governed domains to operate in. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.